expert to take the mood a bit away from chess. No, the world champion is here, Magnus Carlsen. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Hi, Magnus.
Hey.
Magnus, have you followed the candidates?
Yes, of course. I was pretty busy yesterday, so I couldn't watch much then, but otherwise I've been definitely following the games.
First impressions, winner and losers, who surprised you?
I mean, frankly, I don't think anybody's played particularly well so far. There have been, I would say, a surprising amount of interesting games. Like normally there's going to be a bit more sort of non-games than there have been, but there have been, I think, only one actual non-game played so far. But yeah, obviously Jan is leading, and he's done well, but I think he's gotten a couple of pretty nice nice gifts that he's obviously taken, but still a bit better than you can expect. And I think it's easy to forget that he was probably lost against Fabi in the final position. So but still, I guess, yeah, he's the one who's stood out so far.
The final position against Fabi, there's rook takes b2 move, yeah, like Fabi could have played. Yeah,
I'm not really into the details, but apparently, like, computers were showing a pretty high evaluation on large depth.
Yeah, we can put on the board in round 2. It was where Fabi took some time.
Do you think Fabiano is regretting that, and he was affected by that he was not playing on with rook b2 here?
Yeah, I think it was just a poor decision, to be honest. I mean, the black position is pretty safe. You go a3.
5, yeah.
Yeah, there are several moves there, I think. And I mean, to me, the black position looked pretty safe, to be honest. And I don't think making it to move 40 with, what did he have, like 7-8 minutes? I don't think that would have been a major issue. It's understandable, of course, that Fabi made a draw, considering that he'd won the first game, and a draw was a good result. But I think overall it was a poor decision. But yeah, otherwise he's been good. Fabi's been fairly solid as well.
What are your thoughts on Alideza so far?
I have to say I was pretty optimistic about his chances before yesterday, because I thought, yeah, he survived his first couple of black games. That was kind of his baptism of fire. Like he really withstood some serious punches in those games as well. Then against Igaro, I think he did fine. Like, maybe he could have put even more pressure, but he came up with a good idea, and Igaro had to find a bunch of only moves to hold. So I think that the tournament was heading in a positive direction. And then yesterday was just a really risky opening choice. Like, clearly you have to know the line better than he did to play it, and especially against somebody like Jan, who's like a fish in water in those in those lines. And it's fairly typical though that you come up with something that is risky, as black has, I guess, some upside, and you know that you can hold in the computer approved lines, but it feels like it's so easy just to run into some common sense approach that it turns out, oh, you're not actually better even if white does just this, and it's always harder to play with black with this king if you don't know exactly what to do. So it was a very risky choice and it didn't pay off. And now obviously he's not in a great spot. He's made huge comebacks before, so it's not like he isn't capable, but it's gonna be tough.
Yeah. Today, do you think he's disappointed that he was probably looking for blood and he has to play this dry Petrov?
It's a pretty natural choice though for Duda. I mean, he's played this line so many times. And unless Alideza thought that Duda saw him as a target after the game yesterday, I think this line would have had to be expected. Of course, Duda plays some Najdorfs and such as well, but I don't think this is surprising at all.
Like to see 7 on the
I
board.
played b3 against Duda, no? Or was that, I think, maybe, I don't think in this position, but maybe on the move before or something.
Let me check.
B3.
Yeah, and you had some chances, right? And that was in the Champions Chess Tour.
Yeah, I was much better, and then I went one poor move and I had nothing.
Are you surprised by Firouzja's time usage throughout the tournament, because it feels with no increment? I mean, I'm not one to talk, but it feels like his time usage is just showing nerves or showing.
I don't know, but
overthinking.
Let's say yesterday his position just sucked, no? So, I think it's just the way he plays. Obviously, it's not ideal, but I think to some extent he spends his time well. Like he can calculate really deeply, and I'm not sure. He does these things even when he plays well. So whether it's nerves, I mean, that dude is always nervous, regardless of the situation. So, yeah, obviously he's nervous, but I'm not sure I can see in his play that he's been a lot more nervous than usual here. I don't know.
Have you been surprised by any other things, any other results, games, performances so far?
Well, I guess you wouldn't have guessed that for both Report and Duda would have 4 draws so far. They would have 4 draws, no? I'm not completely off there.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But though the games have been interesting, I think for both of them it's been a fine start results wise, even though the play has been uneven. Otherwise, in terms of surprises, yeah, Ding has been a negative surprise. I don't think he's looked good at all so far, but there's a long way to go, and at the very least, his play is kind of normalized a bit over the last couple of games. And his last move was interesting when he went c5. I'm kind of thinking he wants to go a3 bishop a5, because I actually had this in Blitz against him in the World Blitz in 2017, some very similar position as black, and I took on d2, but I didn't It didn't really equalize. And the tension with the pin on the h1 a8 diagonal always seems a bit unpleasant for black. CD, you go ED, and I think in this, unless you can exchange light square bishops, then these hanging pawn structures that you could potentially get are always a bit better for white.
Bishop a8 here, you can't get rid of them quickly.
No, I think you just go knight f3, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
I mean, even if you exchange like rook e1, DC, and then BC, white is probably not bishop d7, c3. Oh, that actually works. Bishop c3 and bishop d4. So you go bishop a8. You go bishop a8 here. Rook a8, bc, and then you're a bit.
No, after rook e1, DC, bishop a8.
Yeah, bishop a8, and there's no c3 because of bishop c3 and bishop e4. So rook a8 and then bc, and you kind of threatening d5, or also going knight f1 to e3 and so on. So it's better for white. Yeah. So I'm assuming he wants to go bishop a5.
Is black not a bit stuck after bishop a5?
But you can always take on d2 later.
Mm-hmm. So just waiting, playing rook fd8, and
yeah, I would slightly prefer white anyway.
What are your thoughts on Nakamura's tournament so far?
No, he's played very well after the first game, I think. The first game was horrible, but after that he's been pretty impressive, and his defense of these double black games that's been pretty good. Yeah, he won the game that he needed to against Rajavov, so he's really growing into form in this tournament, and now he's managed to spring, I think, a pretty major surprise on the Pomnish, and got him out of his prep, as far as I can see.
He's following his own game. He played rook a2 back in 2016 against Akopian, but yeah, Jan started taking time.
Yeah, it's surprising to see this line at all, because this is the old line that nobody plays anymore, which is, I think, yeah, it's for a variety of reasons. To be honest, playing this old line of the Petrov never seemed to be very practical for black. Like, it holds, but there are so many lines you have to remember, and none of them are very pleasant either. So it's a bit weird. Why Rajavov took on d5 though, I don't get it all. Unless there's a concrete reason, then seems stupid.
Bishop takes, blitzed out by Ding. What's his point?
does he want to play knight? Oh, knight c4.
Knight c4.
No. CD a3. There's just bishop takes c4 there. I guess.
Or yeah, or bishop c3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe he wants knight d4 now, and claim to have some sort of. Yeah, maybe. I mean, knight c4 has got to be his idea. That's the only move that makes sense. I have the feeling that b5 should equalize here as well. So c4 is maybe a bit too much. Not sure though.
Looks nice, doesn't it?
Could be.
Taking over with black.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks great. So if not this, then what else? Just looks like a great opening for black at the moment.
Also, it's a position Ding needs, no, when he's trying to mix it up because he desperately needs to win a game.
Oh, yeah.
C4, at least some tension.
And meanwhile, I'm going to pop out and take a break. I've got a pigeon problem on my balcony that needs sorting, and my landlord's coming over in a few minutes. So I'm going to leave you guys to it, and I'll be back a bit later.
Careful with these pigeons. Thanks so much, David.
Cheers, guys.
Magnus, do you have thoughts on the big dress code controversy? Nakamura was wearing jeans the other day. FIDE wasn't happy with it. He wasn't happy with FIDE not being happy. Do you follow that?
No, I don't follow that. Should I?
I don't know. What's your take on dress codes in general?
Generally, I'm usually fine with wearing a suit, as long as, you know, or at least, you know, a jacket. As long as the venue is properly ventilated, then that should be fine. I mean, I'm finding it hard to care too much. You guys have any serious opinions?
Well, I remember when well, it was Kasparov who really much pushed it. I think that the player should be wearing a suit, not tie though, but suit back in the late 90s. I think that was kind of a turning point in elite tournaments, that they started to establish this kind of rule in the PCA events, rapid events, that we have to show up very properly dressed. And but of course, many things are so different from all days, right? I mean, I remember when I was a teenager, we didn't have press conferences after the games. People just, I remember when Anand and Kramnik made a very quick draw in this Vienna variation, and then they just left, and the media and the press was complaining, but at least if they make a draw, we want to have a few words. Why did they do that? I mean, nowadays there are so many things different, right? Well, of course, Magnus is very young, so I'm not sure you remember those days when we didn't have press conferences after the game.
Thank you for calling me young. That's the first time in a bit. Yeah,
well, I shouldn't call myself. I call myself old, so I have to call you definitely young.
Yeah, for sure. No, what I would say though is that the tie bit, I always have that in my contracts, that I don't have to wear a tie, because I feel suffocated when I have to wear those. But I mean, I don't generally mind if there's a bit of a dress code. I think people should show some respect to the event and not turn up too shabbily for the most part. But somebody wants to wear, for instance, jeans with a decent jacket, I don't think that should be a problem at all. Like a jacket, even with sneakers, can look good. So I think like having the dress code as only suits may be a bit stiff at times, but I don't have any strong opinions. And
I'm so happy you brought up the sneakers, because that's my biggest project. White sneakers have to be allowed. They're much more comfortable. They look good with a suit or with jeans and a jacket, and they don't make this annoying noise if players are walking around on stage. So I'm pro dress code, but jeans and white sneakers, if they're like clean white sneakers, I think should definitely be included.
Yeah, it's a good look in general, I would say. The only thing for me is that I think really for the first, not for the first time, but for the first time in a while, I've actually found some nice like proper shoes that I can wear and they don't hurt at all when I walk. I can walk for hours during the game, and they're actually very, very good. So for me personally, I don't miss the sneakers when I play these days.
Still be allowed.
But yeah, I agree. White sneakers with a jacket, that's just the classic look that should be allowed.
There we go.
Okay, this is a nice final touch on the topic, I think. Great conclusions, right? What do you think about Fabi's Fabi rapport game, the opening of it?
It's very interesting. So I guess this A6 line for a long time used to be considered, if not second rate, then not a great line. But I think people are sort of holding these positions now in the main lines after
knight takes c6.
After knight c6, and then either queen d3 or queen d3 immediately even, but or the old main lines with bishop d3. And so people have started playing other things. I mean, Jan played a bunch of a6 last year in online events. I started adopting it a little bit as well. I guess it's telling that Fabi went for g4 here, meaning that people are not finding too much in the knight c6 lines now.
Do you think that that's the idea behind his g4, that he is not satisfied that it's not enough after knight c6, or he has a mindset where he's looking always to sharpen the game with both colors?
Yeah, I guess it could be a bit of both. He knows after g4 he's got to get a game, so yeah, he doesn't really care if he's not in prep. He just wants to sharpen it, and if anybody is okay with that, it has to be Rapport, no?
What do you think, who is the best prepared in opening preparation out of the 8 players?
I would say it's probably Fabi. He has more ideas in general, surprising ideas that the engines don't necessarily come up with. So I mean, he did have a bunch of surprising ideas a couple or even 3 years ago, but then when they were rechecked, it turned out they were all Vila's first line. So then I guess in retrospect they weren't surprising at all. But he keeps finding ideas here that computers are not showing. So that's been impressive. I think it's clearly him who's the best prepared here.
Do you like his g5 knight g4 stuff against Nepomniachtchi?
Yeah, I do, because it's so outrageous that people wouldn't look at it. Like there are a million other problems you would check in the Italian as white before that, and having actually prepared that and being into the details is such an advantage that I love the fact that he went for it, even though it may not objectively be good. I don't think he's going to essay this a second time, but yeah, just the fact that he had the guts to go for such an outrageous line, I think it's awesome, and it's probably a decent EV move as well.
Yeah, he said it was borderline losing himself, but he clearly had prepared it very, very deeply. So
yeah, but that means like if it's borderline losing, that's probably also on very, very high depth.
Might also be code for draw, but scary. No, like who knows?
Yeah, could be. Also, it could mean, I mean, somebody could have looked at knight g4, but then maybe not a high depth, so they might have some wrong conclusions. So he could even hope that his opponents had some but insufficient knowledge. So yeah, I think it was a good choice.
Shall we go back to Nakamura Nepomniachtchi? Hikaru now after bishop f8, which deviated from his game against Akobian, where knight a5 was played, is in deep thought as well. What should white be doing here?
Nobody ever plays bishop f8 in these positions.
There are like 3 games, but not by known players. Yeah, knight a5 was by far the main move there.
Yeah, knight a5 is the logical. What do you even do after knight a5?
CD, queen d5, rook b2 were games, and then it becomes weird, like c6, knight e5, bishop a, or queen a4, queen d8, knight e5, and like all kinds of strange stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is weird. I mean, first of all, you could go bishop g5 with the tempo, but not sure you really want that.
That pawn will be kind of loose at some point. I'm not playing it.
But let's assume you go CD and then okay, bishop g5 probably, it's probably worse in g5 than c1, so it's fine.
What about going c4?
Yeah, so where do you go? Probably
A5?
a5, you're running into bishop d2.
Yeah.
Yeah, queen d7. I don't know, d5. Knight e5, knight d4. Bishop c4.
Can knight be d3 be a move?
Yeah, it's probably a very I don't know, it's a strange position. Oh, I was thinking knight f5, but you just take back. I was thinking knight c1 and then knight h6.
I thought knight e1.
Yeah, but then knight e3 now.
Okay.
But just queen
Queen
f5 is completely fine.
Very fine.
Yeah. Okay, so it's hard to see what is immediately wrong with queen d7. Sorry, bishop f8.
Yeah, bishop f4 was played by in 2 of the games, but
Takes.
then no, they played knight a5. I don't know, takes might be possible as well. This is just games, might be correspondence stuff. And yeah, they ended in draws, so apparently there's no way to punish it directly.
So bishop f8 has been played in correspondence?
I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, let me check. Yeah, email 2018 and email 2016. So it's not all the rage, but there are 2 correspondence games. Yeah, bishop f4, knight a5 was played in both and draw.
Okay, and it's probably holding.
Yeah,
maybe Jan knew. Maybe Jan actually knew that bishop f8 was the move, but he just couldn't remember why. And then so he was looking for something else.
They played knight a5, cd, queen d5, rook b2, and then one game was c6 and one game was c5, both drawn.
No.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it's not knight a5 you can do anytime. For now, it's he wants to exchange the rook, right? Take on c4, take on e1, queen d7.
Yeah, mainly, yeah, this is true, and I also he wants his bishop not to hang on e7.
No, bishop e3 is possible. If I want to avoid
Yeah.
exchange of rooks.
But then knight a5 again. I can't imagine that the bishop is better on e3 than on f4, no?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if knight d2 kind of thing can happen. Probably takes on bishop e6.
Yeah, as long as you can exchange the two things, then that should be more than fun.
What about rook b2?
That's interesting. So in case of bishop a3, bishop c1, knight a5, there's rook b5. Yeah,
I wanted to go rook b5 immediately. Can I do that?
oh, like that. This should be fine for black, no?
Yeah, bishop e4. If after bishop a3 takes.
Yeah, it takes knight a5. And rook b5, there's c6. So I guess rook b5 is the best try instead of rook takes b7.
Rook
but
c5 looks ugly, isn't it? Knight b3.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to imagine that black has serious issues here. Rook d5. And, I don't know. Queen f6. Should be for should be fine.
Yeah.
Nakamura in deep thought, maybe the problem is she did know what he was doing there. Still with bishop f8 seems like no immediate problem.
Yeah.
What game do you want to see in the
Yeah,
Rajabov game?
Really, I'm a bit curious about the Duda. No, sorry, Firouzja Duda game. Because this is again very similar to my game against Jan-Krzysztof, and he's clearly still in prep. But is this where I blundered?
He's still following his own game against Idani there. Instead of bishop f6, he played queen d7. The position with bishop f6 I don't have, but your game was very similar. No, probably just a different move order.
He went here, queen d7.
Instead of bishop f6 in his last game in this position. Yeah, don't ask me why.
That's
That
just
looks strange.
Into knight e5.
I agree.
Yeah, this looks very strange.
Bishop f6 is the more logical one.
And against Magnus by transposition, he went bishop f8. I think it's the same position still.
By bishop f8.
And then you went bishop d2, so it was very similar, but the bishop was on f8. Like I said, there was b3, c4 before bishop d2, and then bishop f8, bishop d2.
Anyway, in my game, he got some trick with knight e4. So here, I think the same trick would kind of work for black. Let's say c5, he would go knight e4. And if you take everything,
compensation, right?
No, you take everything knight e6.
Knight e6.
Yeah.
After this, you can take with the pin.
So, you don't go c5, but you take on e8
But isn't
first.
this a little worse if I go rook d1, knight d4, bishop c3?
Yeah, I guess so.
Queen e7.
Queen, yeah, queen e7. Queen e7 is nice. It's still a bit worse. You take that
Which one you take on e7? Yeah.
or you take on d. No, yeah, you take on d4 probably.
Takes.
Yeah, rook e7. Actually, I think knight f3 and queen e7 was just a draw.
And after taking on f6,
Yeah, just gf.
you go gf. Is this really something nowadays people like?
I mean, rook
Rook d8.
rook d8.
Queen g3, rook d6. No big deal.
You go to f8, obviously.
Sorry. Okay.
I think you just take it. And I mean, you have to seriously calculate queen e5 as well. I mean, check in queen e5.
Queen d3.
No, check in queen e5.
Ah, sorry. That's tricky.
Okay, I don't know about this for sure. But I thought it would be desirable for white to go c5. Maybe I don't understand these positions completely, but at least in my game, like I could get this bind with c5 and just have a very nice advantage. And with the bishop on f6, I'm not sure the bishop is so great there because it can be chased with knight h5 at some point. So c5, and if knight e4 is not equalizing on the spot, I'm not sure I like Black's chances.
Well, there is no other way for the knight anyway, right? After c5.
Yeah, that's true.
That's clear that knight e4 is the only one.
Alideza just played rook 81.
Yeah, he doesn't want to risk. He doesn't want to risk allowing a short draw. But what I was going to say is that rook e8 was also an option.
What does Black take?
Queen take, you kind of get what you want.
And
You
then
go rook e1, yeah.
Yeah, but then
So-
which knight do you take back?
Probably D.
But somehow it looks nice for white. First of all, c5 you can go. Or
Yeah, c5, 96. Get some quick counterplay maybe. You get g6 to prevent knight jumps.
yeah, if you get g6, knight g7 and stuff, then it can be okay.
Yeah, maybe knight d8 is actually a nice setup. So later you can go knight e6, knight c7 maybe. The knight on e8 also protects the bishop on f6. So maybe the Alideza did well just to keep the tension instead.
Also looks like you finally got Duda out of book. Duda now in deep thought there after Rook 81. I was hoping for the c5 knight e4 business.
What if black goes, I just go completely strange and I go b5?
Yeah, it's just a good strategical idea, no? Yeah, I don't see a problem. Maybe, I guess you have to go c5.
Well,
Other moves would just completely give up any hopes.
I mean, once I have my 2 knights there, I'm gonna be happy, I think.
Oh, you're gonna be very happy. So we take an e8. And now we have a couple of moves to consider. So there's bishop g5, there is knight h5.
Well, I'm also thinking of kind of knight b2 someday.
Yeah, I didn't see that. So what do you do as white? Do you take on b5 instead then?
That's what I thought that you might take. And then probably I should be playing something like this. And then I have my knight on d5. But at
Why
least
not
on
CB?
b5. Sorry?
Why not cb5?
Yeah,
d5.
Okay. That's so bad.
d5, take an e1.
Takes and knight c4.
Yeah.
I was thinking even about bishop takes. Probably after that you go a5, right? But I tend to think that this d5 pawn should be a strong one, not a weak one.
But you were a Grunfeld player, like that pawn.
Maybe bishop e1 and after that I go a5, bishop c3.
Yeah, or knight h5.
Or knight h5.
Yeah, it's not clear. It's not clear. The white pieces are pretty nicely centralized, but
The question is,
black should be fine.
if I go knight b5, how is that?
I feel like that's usually slightly better for white. Take e8, then knight e4. Or knight h5.
Yeah, it's somehow more pleasant, I guess.
Yeah.
I need you to explain Fabi's last move to me, if it's not a board malfunction.
Oh,
which I
wow.
guess it isn't. He just played rook to f1.
Well, he wanted to make space for his bishop.
There you have it.
Can we zoom in? Let's just.
Well, if this is not a computer move, nothing is.
That was just a normal move. Now you prepare bishop h1 after knight h4.
Yeah, but usually they don't, well.
We spent 45 minutes. It's unlikely he's still in prep, no?
No, but I mean the idea itself, right? Probably he's seen it somewhere else, that rook f1, and then people can think about it. Oh, he forgot to pick the king first.
Looks like someone who plays online for the first time and tries to move the rook first, and then is surprised the king can't jump over.
No, but this is just prophylaxis. I mean,
He just wants to stop knight h4 here, and the rook on g1 wasn't better.
He wants to go f4, f5 one day, I guess.
yeah, this is more ambitious. And you want to, yeah, you want to go f4 and you want to protect the f4 square just in case. I don't know. I'm generally, I feel a little bit too biased towards white in these positions, but I quite like his position.
Actually, I like it very much that he has a pawn on b3. So after knight e5, there is no knight c4.
Yeah, knight b3 is a puzzling move. I think Richard played it pretty quickly, so
The exchange.
Yeah, but it was a bit weird. I mean, I suppose he wanted to go bishop b7 without running into knight c5. But it was a bit surprising.
Rook f1.
What should he do now? Bishop e7 or bishop b4? Where do you put the bishop?
I wouldn't mind going to b4.
I was worried about queen d4, but I'm
Queen
not
d4
sure
is
if
the
it does
question.
anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so we
mean,
go bishop e7.
Bishop e7, castles. I'm not sure I like this for black at all. d7 is hanging.
Oops.
I kind of think you have to go e5 at some point as black. But
Maybe I
Let's-
don't go bishop e7. I go rook c8, let's say.
yeah, castles.
And bishop b4, you still want to go queen d4, right?
Yeah. I don't think you can drum up an attack here as black.
Actually, at some point, maybe I can go, well, I'm thinking about e5.
Yeah, I think you might have to.
I go bishop c5.
I go bishop c5. Okay.
That's what I do. Take it.
So you are running into takes a queen
Queen
d4.
d4. But there,
Maybe there is something there.
check.
Check
and
f4.
d7 is hanging. Oh my.
Yeah.
So I cannot do anything because of this queen d4 kind of move.
Maybe a queen c7 though.
And takes b4.
Takes b4.
But what the heck is that? Let's say.
Yeah, it's very strange. King b1. I don't know. Rook e2. Rook c1. There's queen e5. Even queen f4. Yeah.
No, queen e5 is nice already.
Yeah.
But somehow probably doesn't.
Let's go back. Let's maybe go f4 instead for white.
Well, that's the classical way of doing it. e5.
No. Oh, e5 could just be very strong.
Yeah, because you have this knight e4.
Knight d4 coming. So maybe you have to go e5 as black instead of queen c7. Now it can get very sharp. After f5, knight f4, it takes.
I knew it that you want to take that.
Yeah, takes queen d4.
Queen c7 and queen e5.
Yeah, but you have b. Oh, you don't have b4 is rook e5. But you even such a position, no? After takes on g7 and you exchange. There's some kind of play with b4.
Well, here I shouldn't be bad.
Yeah, it should be fine. Black. This is not impressive. Okay, so yeah, bishop c5 has to be black's idea. Maybe white should go f4,
f4 immediately.
Yeah.
But then e5 will be not possible. So then I take and queen c7. I think I can be holding on now.
Yeah, and then you go
E5,
castles.
finally castle.
Castles and e5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad for black. Okay,
Well,
so this is the way you have to play.
Let's do a very quick tour through the games in Rajabov Ding. Some further
And Duda, by the
simplifications.
way, took on e5, took an e1 before he went for b5, which might be kind of clever since you're attacking d4 with more
Yes.
pieces after knight b5.
So after CB, knight B5, maybe.
Oh, wait a sec. There's still knight e4.
Knight D4 isn't the D4 pawn is hanging.
No. Bishop d4, there's a4. And knight f2 protects the queen on d3.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
so that's kind of nice for.
and after
for-
knight B, other B5, which is not what I want to, but
Yeah, that's what you want. a4.
knight, go back.
And then knight e5. It's better for white.
Yeah, but if CB, then I'm also not happy, I think.
But then d5, knight c4 might drop the pawn. Unless there are some tactics there. Can you see some tactics? I don't see it.
Everything becomes concrete in chess eventually.
It does.
Oh, maybe anyway, knight E5 should be the move.
Then you take it, no? Take it and knight c4 next.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe you should go knight h5.
Knight D5.
Knight d5, maybe now knight e5.
But what is this if, let's say, I just go G6?
Queen f3.
Oh, I'm falling apart there.
I'm not sure you're falling apart, but it's a bit unpleasant.
D5. Well, it seems like a little more than a little unpleasant.
Maybe it could be a 98.
CB5 is on the board. Of course.
Yeah. This looks like another Vesa position, to be honest.
And if I go G6?
Yeah, we have to take. Takes. And now can we play something, some energetic move? This is the question.
Rook E5.
And he has gone CB, so
BCB.
I mean, there are the obvious moves like H4.
What
E5
else?
now
are
to play
there?
bishop c3.
I would go Queen F5. Sorry?
No, I said instead of h4, maybe d5 also to go bishop c3.
Yeah, D5, Queen F5. That's what I was thinking about at first. Is there some energetic way you can play here? But I'm not sure.
Maybe Rook E5 can be.
Yeah, knight c4
Knight
though. Rook c5, but you take on d2. That's too little.
Yeah, and Bishop G5 I can't include.
No.
It doesn't look awful for black.
Yeah, but your king is permanently weak.
That's true.
So even something like h4, if Queen f5, you go Queen c3, knight c4, bishop h6.
So what are you cooking?
You have some really pretty knights, but your king is seriously weak.
Okay, after that, I go Queen H5, Bishop G5.
Yeah, Queen h5, even Queen c1, maybe.
But is it a big deal? I mean, knight d6, queen d5.
No, it's clearly not a big deal at all. But the question is if it's still a bit more pleasant for white to play.
So the question is if it's a small deal.
Yeah, I think it clearly doesn't have a big advantage here. I'm trying to claim that he has something to play for.
You know, Rapport played a very strange move to me. Very strange move. Look, bishop c6.
What is strange about it? He just wants castles a5 and checkmate.
I understand, but well, first of all, maybe after a5, there is still few moves in between, right?
For sure.
Interesting prophylactical idea. Kind of funny.
So how does this go? White plays f4, you go a4.
Yeah, let's say f4, a4. Maybe immediately e5.
Yeah, that was I was also wondering. I mean, black is playing like double or nothing.
That's the way
They should
like to
introduce
play.
that in chess. Backgammon rules. Bishop c6 double.
I quite like it. No bullshit figures.
So how does this go? A b3, can you do that?
AB3, CB,
TV.
Queen C8, maybe.
King b1.
Queen B1. Yeah. Bishop
Bishop b4.
Bishop B4. If
Nice.
black can survive a few moves, it's just winning, yeah?
No, but I have a question. What about, I cannot go f4 immediately because you go queen h4 check or what? After bishop c6.
Yeah, that would be the hope.
So maybe it's time to play. Bishop c6. What a move.
Yeah, what a move. Maybe castling is too dangerous.
Yeah,
And
but you can't go
he-
king g1.
no, but he does have an open A file.
But how can
So-
you use that? That's
No,
the-
but the modern move would just be to go king d1. Prepare f4.
that would be too much for me, sorry.
And the king on c1 might not be that bad.
I mean, I understand that chess is changing very fast, and we were discussing this in previous days with Jan, that even in the last 2 years, there are different trends and the way people play opening, but king d1, I think I'm not ready yet. But maybe only because I'm a little bit old-fashioned.
Yeah.
It is hard to believe, isn't it?
After king d1, I tend to think that we try to get a kind of position of a Fischer random.
What's wrong with that? Or no castling chess? In no castling chess, you would go king d1 for sure.
That's true.
I like this bishop c6 move. Also covering d7.
No, it's very
Probably a
interesting.
deep
I mean,
thought,
this
yeah.
that white cannot go, or after castle a5, it makes it very interesting.
Yeah.
Castles a5, maybe you go knight d5.
What about I go? You know what I go? I go queen e2. I go queen e2.
But that blunders an exchange.
Why?
b4 and bishop b5.
Oh,
The sole disadvantage of putting the rook on f4.
You
That
see
to be
how-
one drawback.
how multifunctional bishop c6 is. It's even prophylactic against queen
I know.
and queen d3 and castle. Wow.
By the way, Alideza went for a really interesting move with bishop a5.
Oh, he pinned. If knight c4, what does he want?
I think he wants takes and bishop
Takes.
h5. Sorry, queen.
Knight h5.
Knight h5.
Yeah.
Little aggressive.
That's the way we like it.
Yeah, actually, it's an interesting idea to go for that. Okay, so queen d6, if I just act if nothing serious going on, queen f5.
Yeah, there's queen f5, then I suppose a6. I think very concretely, maybe also a4 instead of queen f5 is interesting. And what do you know? He has gone knight c4, so we're getting all of this, I think, on the board. Maybe not a4, but the position after queen d6 probably. What do you think about a position? Let's say white goes for a random move instead of knight f5. Let's say g3.
But I can play g6 black here.
No. I just wanted to show the position after queen d5.
Ah, okay.
Something like that. How bad is that for black? I'm thinking if white gets to push d5, it might be very bad. But with this blockade, knight h4, knight d6, might not be terrible. I'm thinking that's something at least to keep in mind.
Yeah.
In other lines.
We have a bunch of moves in Nakamura versus Nick Pomnishi. Shall we switch there for a second? After bishop to f8, he took on d5, queen takes d5, c4, queen e4. This is like these old Leko-Kramnik lines, but there's a rook on a2, so there's no queen c2.
But probably we are transposing also, no? Bishop e3? Or on bishop f1, queen b1, or what is the plan?
Yeah, I think so. Rook b2, queen a1.
Where else? Obviously.
No one puts the queen into a corner.
But why is it so great?
No, I don't think it's great. But maybe it concretely works.
But also if white just, even if this does work, if white just goes bishop e3, aren't his pieces strange? Because you don't have the usual stuff there.
When?
I mean, instead of bishop f1, like maybe this is better. I'm just curious what
you're very classical. You're not this modern player who likes queen on a1 and messy. Just
no, because I recall this Leko-Kramnik game where the big revelation was this move queen to c2, I think, with the bishop on e7 and the rook on a1, solving all the problems. And before that, they put the bishop on f6. Well, here the bishop is on f8, and none of these things work. So I don't really understand what he wants.
Okay, rook d8.
Fair enough. Maybe now bishop f1 or h3 first. Maybe h3.
Okay, let's just play h6.
Queen e6.
Asking 45.
But I mean, he went to e4 voluntarily, so
yeah,
could have just have done something normal instead.
And where do you want to go with the queen?
No, not particularly like this. Let's say no, but let's just say h6 after h3.
Queen c1 is a move, for example.
Also just
maybe bishop f1.
Just bishop f1. Am I? Yeah, where do you go? Queen looks so stupid there.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Hikaru's thinking about it.
Yeah, this looks odd. Maybe he wants. No, knight a5 runs into knight e5. So maybe rook d8 and then. But rook d8, maybe bishop f1 immediately is very strong. Oh,
Yeah,
there's bishop g4.
I was worried about bishop g4. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's bishop g4. Okay, h3, maybe now knight a5. This is my idea.
And bishop f1, you want queen c6? So what's,
Yeah. So maybe instead of bishop f1, you go queen a4, b6, and then knight e5. This may be just fine for black after c5. Oh, I'm blundering bishop d3.
Bishop d3 from this side.
I was thinking about g4, bishop f3, but I wasn't quite.
So maybe in knight e5, queen h4 is what you have to do. Just in a weird way starting to look harmonic for black. Knight f3, queen e4 would be a fun way to end the game. The dream of any decent Petrov player.
Knight a5, you said?
Yeah.
Hikaru in deep thought, still hasn't played bishop e3 or bishop f1.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. This could be already kind of a key point in the game. So, assuming he's gonna have about 40 minutes after this, he should be fine.
Still has 51. He looks very interested. And the opponent she's played quickly, but it's hard to believe this is not him freestyling. No, this combination of bishop f8 and queen e4 doesn't look like this is home cooking.
No, for sure. What do you guys think about the no increment at the candidates?
I'm a big fan. I've always argued that we should have at least 2 time controls, because the exact amount of time that you get with a 1 hour 40 plus 30 seconds increment, just you're not forced to use 30 seconds per move. And as a spectator, commentator, of course, it's also exciting if someone wants to be responsible and have 5 seconds for 5 moves. It's great fun. I also like that you do get increment after move 60, so you don't see flagging in some rook endgame, which we don't want. So I've always been a big fan.
Yeah, I think I agree with this, with everything. I very much like that they've changed it. The 140 plus 30 plus 50 is, it's interesting, but it's so I don't know what the expression is in English, but in Norwegian you say that they're putting pillows under our arms. They don't want us to they're making everything too easy, you know? Yeah. And it's not supposed to be easy. Like you're supposed not to be punished for bad time management, because the time control is supposed to make it easy, and it's going to take away one of the main sources of excitement in a classical chess game. No, I think putting some more demands on the player in that sense is not only fine, I think it's completely justified, and that's the way that's the way it should be. And I agree with you, having increment at the end, not to have flagging and all that stuff. That's fine. But I mean, especially with the kind of prep people have today, 2 hours for 40 is plenty. So I think complaining about that, as some of the players have, is a bit, it's just bullshit to me.
No, I think it's a valid complaint that time control changes every tournament, but this is the right one. So if you want to play with a long time control, I much prefer this one. Or if you want to have it shorter, make it 2 hours 40 and then whatever.
But don't
50
you think,
minutes plus increment for the rest. So
Yeah, I
time
think the one we have at Norway Chess is very interesting as well, because obviously the play in the end game is going to be worse. But there are a lot of instances where you play a really good defense. The player who plays to win puts a lot of pressure, and then at the end, yeah, can you do it for a little time, or can you spend your time well enough that you have a little bit left? I don't think you should shy away from giving these challenges to players.
but
As
don't
a
you
player,
think,
sorry, go ahead.
sorry, don't you think that if we think about the bonus time after move 61, that it's only not to flag the other, then 30 seconds maybe is too much? It could be like 15 or 10. Because I think in end games, many times, I mean, obviously everybody's like that, they make a rule for something and actually they benefit somewhere else, the players, right? So you can see in some games that people add up all these 30 seconds, they make moves back and forth in a queen end game or rook end game or whatever. So they increase their time from, let's say, 1 minute to 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and then they start thinking.
Yeah, that was the thinking of Gary when he tried to introduce the delay instead of
Yeah, the brunch thing.
yeah, which is also, it's really difficult to play with delay, but as I said, like, time control being difficult to play with doesn't mean that it's a bad idea. So I'm not against that either, for sure. But I do think it's fine at the end of the classical game if people have 50 minutes on their at the last time control, if they can gain a little bit time. I think that's quite reasonable, but yeah, I don't hate it either way. The only time control that as I said, that I find a bit boring is the 140 plus 50 and so on.
Also takes away one of the biggest advantage of the guys that are practical and smart with their time. No one can get themselves into too much trouble. So yeah, I want to ask, as a player with the time control in Norway Chess, where it's what, 10 seconds per move after move 40, do you feel that's okay, or would you like to have like a short break? You get whatever, half an hour extra, so you can go to the bathroom, wash your face, whatever people do after move 40?
No, I think it's good. I think it serves its purpose of not having people lose some time and just putting pressure.
Right.
And also it's partly for TV, that you're making sure that the game is not going to last more than about 4.5 to 5 hours. So if you start the game at 5, you know, it's everything's going to be finished at 10 or a little bit later with the Armageddon games. So I'm fine. I'm fine with that, and I'm sure most spectators, at least casual ones, enjoy it as well. And there's a lot of freedom as well when you only have the 10 seconds, because you don't have to write the moves. So you just know whenever you go under 5 minutes in the first time control, then you're sort of home free. Then you could just play it as a blitz game, which is fun. It's stressful, but it's interesting and fun.
Bishop F1 played by Nakamura, so we might get these Queen B1, Queen A1 positions.
Yeah, we will. I don't think.
Oh no, he played Queen G4. He played Queen G4. No, very quickly too.
Oh.
Where's he going actually? Like,
oh, so he's going back to E4.
H3. What does he do? He takes in Queen E4.
Yeah, but then there's still
Rookie 2.
Rookie 2 and
Queen of the squares. Then he goes to B1.
Yeah, that doesn't look great. I mean, he could go to G6, but that's just a clean bishop pair for white.
Well, you can start with D5 also.
Yes.
Where to go with the knight?
Yeah, where to go with the knight, exactly.
Good point. A5 is not available. Looks terrible, doesn't it?
No, this can't be.
No,
No,
so
then without taking.
So then at least you have knight A5.
Yeah.
But even here, knight H4, it's so nice, no? Takes. I don't know.
How was knight H4, bishop C2? Probably a bit sucky in many ways.
Yeah, but maybe anyway, white is going to be taking this first. No?
Yeah, no, but this bishop C2, I mean, it's just a bad position. I don't think it loses material, but it's a bad position in many ways.
You just take everything, or what do you do?
I mean, for instance, rook E8, rook E8, and then rook E8, rook F8. Rook A8, I don't think you should do. Queen B1. But rook F8, knight G6, bishop E3. It's just very nice.
H3 played very quickly by Nakamura.
Yeah.
And is Nepomniachtchi in trouble?
Well, he's getting back to his true self in his last few moves, playing poor moves quickly.
I see the engine bar below the board there. I don't know exactly what it means, but there's a lot of white as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of whites.
Yeah. Should mean that he is in big trouble. If Nakamura wins this game, he catches Jan Nepomniachtchi, and standings are wide open again.
Yeah, for sure. So the only other the only other option would be Queen E4, Rook E2, Queen B1.
Let's look at that.
Then D5. No, that's horrible.
Looks extremely dangerous for black.
Yeah,
A5
this looks bad. Yeah, I guess you can try that, but how about you take on A5 and C7?
Bishop D3, Rook E1, yes.
Knight E5 is a huge threat.
So Jan Nepomniachtchi, deep trouble. Looks slightly concerned too. Do you think, or you spend a lot of time playing Jan Nepomniachtchi, can you read his facial expressions well?
I guess a bit. But I try not to get into that game too much.
Right. As a body language doctor and as having seen it's +2 for white, I think he looks concerned.
Okay, yeah, that explains it. So
the scientific explanation.
Yeah, but this stuff didn't make any sense.
He also played it very, very quickly. Yeah, that's good.
But
Fabi's
was-
played G5 in the meantime. Sorry. Go ahead.
Was Queen B1 losing instead of Queen G4?
Let me switch on good old computer and ask. C4, Queen E4, Bishop F1, first line, H3, second line, Bishop F1, Queen B1. No, like
Yeah, Queen B1 was probably holding, no?
gives Rook E8, Rook E8, Rook B2, Queen A1,
Yeah, I'm
Rook
thinking
B7,
now
Bishop
myself.
E4. Okay, you can read yourself.
Yeah.
And 040 or whatever. Rook C7, Bishop D6.
Yeah, this whole thing is just bizarre. Especially because there looked like there was no reason why Queen D7 after C4 was not a decent choice.
Which point?
Yeah, just
Instead of Queen
D7
E4,
here.
yeah, Queen D7. It says just zeros. Even Queen D6, it doesn't mind.
I mean, to be fair, Queen D7 is an extremely unnatural move compared to the very, very natural Queen E4.
Is this? I can't tell if this is sarcasm or irony.
What's the thing you
Queen
do?
E4?
/S?
You gotta say kappa.
Oh, that's what you do.
Yeah, this was a very unexpected choice by Jan. And maybe in the picture we also see that.
Let's say if he can calculate his way out of this somehow. And what did I say? Icarus was gonna have about 40 minutes, so he has 43, has a little bit more. So that bodes well for him as well. 40 minutes for about 20 moves in a very good position. Sounds I mean, I'm not sure he's gonna have a really difficult decision for the rest of the game, the way it's going. So
Fabi looked very interested there.
it just looks beautiful.
Whoa.
Okay.
By the
here-
way, the line I was talking about with Bishop C2, that's obviously nonsense because of Queen D2.
There we go,
even
Queen
that
G6.
way, yeah, Queen G6, Knight H4, and
Bishop C2.
so even that way of trying to bail out into worse ending is just nonsense.
Yeah, okay. But
Oh,
you
there's
can
Queen
always-
F6.
Queen F6, yeah.
Queen F6. This is the way I have to play. But it's really ugly.
But maybe it's not so bad.
No, if you can just cut your losses somehow.
No, but I have the computer now after H3, Queen G6, it just says D5 is huge for white as well.
Well, this is more. You have Queen A4. He cannot. go
So yeah, I
here.
cannot go knight A5.
You can't go knight A5, and it says takes and knight E7, G4, Bishop C8.
No,
which
then
looks
D5,
suspect.
of course. Then, of course, D5. If you have to go knight E7, oh my. G4 is the best.
But that takes on E1 and then knight E7, and then it wanted G4, but I'm sure it's not forced. Black has to go Bishop C8, which doesn't look very promising.
No, what a opening disaster for Jan.
Oof.
And it's very strange, yeah. I mean, Nikar just played the same sideline as he played 6 years ago, and Jan decided to make a few very natural moves and good moves, and then decided that, yeah, fuck this solid Petrov position. I'm gonna get my queen chased around the half the board instead.
That is shocking. Fabi's played g5. That just to stop queen h4, or what does he want?
Yeah, this is what I thought it was kind of the only move. We improve the position.
He can decide whether to go king d1 or castles later.
Very flexible.
Also, he can go f4, king f2.
Well, he wants to go f4 next, right?
Yeah. Yeah, clearly.
So the question is whether for black, h6, what do you think? Is it too much?
I'll be right back.
h6 takes. Rook h6 is too much, no?
Well, I was solid with this and bishop g7, I thought.
I think it's too weakening. f4 comes after castles.
Now you castle
Yeah.
and after a5.
Yeah, but now you weaken your position so much. Thinking f4 still. f4, a4, there's f5. This could still be fine for black. I don't know. But I don't like h6. I want to try and find another move. But what?
Oh, maybe at some point e5 would be the move.
Yeah. What do you think about f5?
Sorry?
f5? That's a bit too much, no?
Well, at first, but nowadays anything is possible.
Yeah. GF
I understood.
takes castles. Yeah, it's a bit too much. It's just too big.
Why bishop b4?
Bishop b, yeah, bishop b4, then f4. Even this is fine. Yeah, castles. Why is it a big deal? Looks okay for black. So Duda Fiducia is also interesting because I think now Duda either he has to sacrifice a pawn or he has to accept the double pawns on f6. Let's say white takes and then goes queen b3 or queen b1. No, take a b5. I mean.
And how do you win the pawn?
Take on b5.
And you go immediately?
Queen b3, yeah.
And why can't I go to b8, for example?
Yeah. Well, knight f6,
queen
you have to go
b5.
gf, yeah.
No, but then it, of course, it doesn't make any sense to go to b8 because after this here.
Yeah. So queen d5 is
d5.
normal, yeah. Takes.
Can't you go knight
Oh,
c6?
knight c3. Oh, there's even this. This I missed. So what is he supposed to do? Queen d7? Takes knight h4. Maybe it's not so dangerous. Rook e8, stop trading. Oh, this is maybe just fine. So knight h4 is maybe a strange
Early.
move. Too early, yeah.
Though anyway, rook e8 next move, I guess.
Yeah. This is It's a bit strange. Huh. Meanwhile, Jan took on E1, so okay, but let's stick on this game a little bit. Are there any other ideas except for A, B, and Queen B3?
I don't know. Let's see.
Oh, there's also Queen B1, which means that you can go to F5 later with the Queen. And I'm assuming Knight A3 followed by Queen B3 is favorable for white.
Yeah.
And Bishop D4, I think, always just loses
D1.
to Rook D1. Yeah.
And the Rook A1?
Take.
Takes. So.
And maybe actually with the Queen of B3, you could take on D4 and then Rook D1, Rook A1. So Queen B1 is more interesting. Rook B8 then. Take F6, GF6.
Why Rook B8? Why not Queen D7 anyway?
I thought you can take and then Queen E4. Then Knight H4. Maybe it's not a big deal even here.
What about?
Or Rook A6. Oh.
Knight H4 anyway.
Because you have a check on A8.
But I go Queen E6.
I would think Queen B1.
I see you. You rented this square for your queen.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, white has some small.
No, it's unpleasant with black.
Yeah.
That's clear.
You should have told Nepomniachtchi B1 is a good square for the queen.
Huh. That was you always know how to come back.
Very smooth segue.
Yeah. It's what 10 plus years of broadcasting can do for you.
Yeah, look where it got me. Queen E4 on the board and Rook to E2.
Yeah, Rook
tempting.
E2 looks
Played
like
already.
Yeah. Queen D3. Is that a move?
Queen D3.
Yeah, just to avoid. But
Rook B2.
I was thinking to limit white's choices a little bit because if Queen B1, then white could go D5 first, yeah, and after this move D5, Queen Knight D4, black should be okay.
But I think after Queen B1 also Rook B2 can be unpleasant, isn't it?
Yes, but after Queen B1, as we talked about earlier, D5
Yeah, D5
immediately is also very strong, yeah. So just to limit white's option, that's a little bit to go Queen D3.
But now Rook B2.
Yeah, now Rook B2, Queen E4.
And back.
And if takes a Knight G5?
I assume you have to go Bishop A3 and pray for this.
And is praying enough?
Maybe not. You have a pass pawn. Not a great pass pawn though. Would you accept the draw here as white, Jan?
Against whom?
Let's say a random 2700 player.
No, I think even in the Chicken Chess Club that would be considered excessive.
Okay.
I don't know. Now that I look at the A pawn, though, I
Yeah.
could talk myself into it.
Okay, maybe not Bishop A3. Maybe you just go Bishop back and then you take on D4. White takes. white takes b7 and c7, and white seems to be a pretty nice pawn up. Yeah, maybe not actually. h6. Yeah, knight f3, it takes, take. It's not inconceivable that black can draw this.
So where's the +2.5 the computer's giving? Must be more than this, no?
So you say queen d3.
I'll look it up. Queen d3. Oh, queen d3, knight h4, it says. That's a strange move.
Knight h4?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it seems to think that's more or less winning.
Bishop
Whoa.
d7 has to be played, then d5.
Oof. But who plays knight h4? That's insane.
Well, somebody who calculates well.
Yeah, bishop d7, d5 is just game over, apparently. Knight d4, rook e7, or rook d2. Yeah, there's just nothing to do.
So probably after knight h4, bishop g6, the only move.
But also d5, it's just crushing.
Yeah, knight h4 is, wow, what a move.
Well, Jan is not having an easy situation now. It seems seemingly.
Yeah, but queen b1 d5 just looks horrible.
Yeah, it looks horrible. Not a very nice choice to play queen d3 or queen b1 at this stage.
Oh, that's for sure.
So we have at the Rapport's game, we have g5, a5, f4.
What is he doing? He's trying to mate the king that's not there.
Prophylactic mating.
Doesn't he know that the king is going to go to d1 instead, or f2?
King f2 is coming. Yeah.
So finally f2 and g1, that's what you say.
But then your
Ah,
h6 plan
maybe.
is back in play.
Maybe now
Yeah,
h6, don't you think so?
Gh,
Queen h4.
rook f2. Not sure black has achieved much here.
Well, I cannot take back, that's the problem, right?
No.
Okay.
And if just a4 here is king f2 serious?
I'll be right back.
a4. Actually, we have some action in other boards also, you know.
Yeah, we can go there, Richie's thinking about it. We haven't seen Rajabov ding at all.
Yeah,
Maybe we should at least stop by.
because that's there are some action. What happens? C takes, simplifying a bit, knight d5, and now white started to push pawns.
e4, f4.
Yeah, but it's interesting because now bishop d2 is not possible, right? But why is not possible? Queen f4, I guess. Right, so Ding played rook d8, rook takes, f4, suddenly very aggressive style.
a bit surprised by that far. It might be fine, but of course, I'd be
Didn't
worried
he s-
about weakening the king and the squares and so on. It's very aggressive for like,
Yeah, didn't he see my king tweet about king safety?
yeah. Pawns never move backwards.
Yeah. Do you have any more cliches?
That's all I got. Knight on the rim is dim. Where should the ding knight go?
I was a rook instead of rook fd8, queen b7 was a tempting option.
There?
Instead of queen b7.
So
Sorry, instead of
F8.
rook fd8.
Here.
I don't think 96 works. I mean rook c8 and then 96. I don't think that works. Okay, so rook c2. So maybe it's not so clear, but anyway, it's very unattractive for white. So I kind of assume his idea was just to go f3 after queen b7. But then his king is permanently weakened at the very least. So I guess that will give black something to play for. Let's say rook fd8. Anyway, what happened in the game, I think, should make him fairly happy as well.
Ding that is, yeah.
Yeah,
Knight g6.
knight g6. So
I'd be scared with white. There are all these squares to cover.
Yeah, it looks scary that white is going to be some weaknesses. No?
Yeah, bishop d2 is a threat. Knight 2 f3, queen b7, like it looks. Looks shaky. Any good ideas for white instead?
okay, so knight 2 f3. I think he has to go e5 instead of knight f3.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't see any other logical option.
Well, queen b7 and knight d5.
Yeah, queen f3. Knight e4.
Knight f4.
And I probably resign.
Beautiful.
Yeah, what's this idea? This is odd to say the least.
The Pomnish has just played queen to d3 indeed. So now
But
would
Nakamura will play knight h4 without even thinking much, I think.
I think so. It's such an odd move. I'd be
Yeah.
very impressed if he plays that one.
You think he's not gonna play it?
No, Magnus, what percentage you give to knight h4?
Wow.
Okay, I was gonna say
you
that
repeat once.
I was gonna say that if you think for 10 minutes, it's gonna play it. Otherwise, probably not. Yeah, he repeats once, which is sensible.
Well, if he repeats once, he has the next chance to play knight h4.
Yeah, that's why he does it. Let's just see. Queen a3,
Rook b5.
rook b5 is a clean piece. Yeah. So clearly queen e4 back is forced. So we'll see. And there's zero chance he doesn't play rook e2 after queen e4, right?
He will play.
It's just repeating once to gain some time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was suddenly thinking if queen c3 makes any sense there. But
That here he wants to go queen c3.
Here we
I
go.
don't think so.
Queen e4
No,
is
rook e2 is coming.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I would guess he thinks for 10 minutes and then goes knight h4.
Queen d3. Not sure I could talk myself into rook b2 here. Maybe.
You would do something like rook e3, you know?
Rook e3. Looks risky.
Yeah.
Queen c1, queen b1.
d5.
Ah, yeah, that looks nice actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Knight d4.
But it looks very good.
I
The
like
only
it.
thing is that knight h4 is even better, right? After knight
Yeah.
h4 game is over or no?
The engine line after knight h4 was something very weird. Hang on. Knight h4, queen b1 now. Once.
Only move?
Only move. d5, knight d4, rook b2, queen e4, takes on b7 and big white advantage.
What do you think the odds of that happening are? Wow, by the way, Fabi went
Fabi
f4,
went
a.
Rook d1, he did rook f1 and rook d1 with the king on e1. That's beautiful.
He increased his compactness score.
He tried castling twice, but failed both times. I'm moving the rook first.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna go king f1 to g1 somewhat.
Is a3 a move here, or is that dumb?
It would make more sense if BA had been included.
Fair. I was dreaming
I'm
of
not saying
bishop
it doesn't
b4
make
crushing.
sense now, but
Yeah.
okay, so how about A, B, C, B, and then H6?
Takes.
Yeah, rook H6.
Actually, yeah, now
Oh,
that
no. Let's say queen H4 first. Maybe that's more precise.
rook f2.
Rook H6.
By the way, why not queen h2?
Probably that's very good as well. This looks awful for white. Unless there is some concrete justification. Oh, I was thinking queen G1 was good, but it's obviously not.
Queen g1, king e2, right?
Yeah. No, I was thinking now the bishop hangs, but it obviously doesn't. Just mistake on my part. Okay, so we have to be a little bit more careful. Let's go rook h6 instead of.
Okay.
GH. Isn't this just great for black? Oh, maybe FE. Oh.
I don't know if knight g4 is not possible.
Yeah, but then you're playing for a draw. Sort of think black should not be.
But I have many options. Bishop c5 also.
Yeah, bishop c5 is okay. Maybe even you can go fe6 or de6.
But,
Here, there's.
But what can you do now with white?
No, you have to go queen f4, I guess.
Queen f4 you have. So I go king f8, sorry.
Ah, okay.
King F1.
Yeah, maybe this is too strong. King F1, knight G4. That looks bad. Maybe rook F4. No.
Rook F4, we give it check and Queen G3. And then B4.
Yeah. No, who knows? But there's definitely potential here. By the way, I think Firuza Duda is just gonna end in a draw.
Well, he sacked the pawn, right?
Not, yeah, but not really. Takes and bishop d4.
So what happened? Knight D6 takes.
Oh, it's just over. Rook B5, bishop D4 as well.
Yeah. It's really weird that white never got to play h3 or g3 in this game.
But what on knight D4?
Check and queen d4.
Immediately. Oh.
Actually, none of them ever got loofed for their king.
Wow.
That's disappointing for Alideza. No, it looked like he was getting a little something. What did he do after A4, A6, AB, AB? You were looking at
On knight
something.
c3.
Knight C3.
Queen b1 we were
B7.
looking at.
Knight C3 was strange. I mean, well, if he blundered and he haven't seen this bishop D4 probably.
Ah, then it just
Well,
petered out.
Sure, I think he blundered bishop D4, that's all.
if yeah, if you wondered, Engine think that queen b1 is by far the best move. And at least on
Nice.
relatively low depth, it says that white is a little bit better. So yeah, I
Makes a lot
guess
of
this,
sense.
yeah, queen b1 clearly was his best chance.
That's disappointing for Alireza. Nakamura still thinking. And Rajabov, is he getting in trouble? Like he went knight c4, queen b7, a3. If Ding wins today and Nakamura wins today, then it's anybody's tournament.
What's going on knight E4? Or is just white takes it?
What's a strange bluff, no?
It's hard not to call.
Yeah.
I was thinking about B5.
This might be very strong. I mean, as white, I would be screaming, why? You had such a nice and safe position.
Yeah. No, if we go back to move 15 after knight e5, never ever would I play e4 there. And I always thought, time where I had that connection, like some knight to f3, probably knight 4 to f3. What could happen?
No, but in my opinion, it started with the move c d5, which didn't make
Right,
any
yeah.
sense compared to a3. Well, that was so weird.
Just allowing black everything he wants. Yeah.
He went bishop C5. Somehow,
Yeah,
After
even
a3.
just bishop
Okay,
c5,
also
which
nice.
he played.
I like bishop C5 actually. Something is going to be cooking on the diagonal.
What is white doing? Like knight back
But
or
I think
rook e1?
B5 will come. Maybe.
Yeah, just looks great for black.
Rook E1. I don't know. What about rook D8?
Rook d8,
Probably
knight
knight.
f3.
And okay, white is kind of saving himself for the moment.
For the moment, yeah.
B5,
B5.
knight E5. Right? Not to allow knight G4.
But what are you hoping for as white? This is the problem. Like,
Actually, you
just-
can take this. You take this.
yeah, you don't have any convenient recapture.
No.
No, 95, 94. FE5 is awful, and bishop B5, bishop A3.
But okay, it means that white has to
Actually, like even immediate B5 after rook E1 looks very interesting.
Rook E1 is on the board.
and now.
Yeah, now A6 or whatever.
And you claim that even here just nice.
Yeah, I think you have improved the position by driving the knight away, and all is fine.
I think it's huge. It's the position you're dreaming of when you play any of these openings. No, Queen's Gambit accepted, Vienna or whatever. Yeah.
Alireza, Firuza,
Safety.
they are going to make a draw in a
And
second.
the curve played a rook E3, which looks really nice as well.
And then D5, right?
Yeah.
It's over.
I'm guessing you can sort of fight with Queen B1, D5, 97 maybe.
On the board. Knight D4.
Oh boy. It's a bit uglier than I thought.
Rook B3 next.
Yeah. Bishop
Queen
C2.
B6. Maybe Queen B6 trying to survive.
Queen B6 is
No,
a
it's
nice defensive option.
no, but the problem is takes this.
Queen B6. Still not over.
Sorry, we couldn't see the board. Oh yeah, there it is.
Not completely.
Bishop A3.
We
Should
have a
lose.
draw between Alireza and Duda.
Yeah.
Finished. Not very exciting final position. 3 against 3.
Yeah,
So-
good result for Duda. 5 draws so far, but no particular problems today. Maybe a small mischance for Alireza. He's stuck on -1. Won't be happy.
Yeah. This chances do not look great at the moment, but as I said, he's made the second half comebacks before. So, and 97 is on the board. Okay, we assume to see 94 pretty quickly. Wait a sec. Could he get really, really tricky by going knight D2? And then the idea would be Queen C2, knight B3, and then knight D4.
Isn't that the same position after Queen B1?
Oh, Queen B1, yeah, Queen B1 now. Okay, that's true. Also, maybe Queen A1 was clever after knight D2, and then Queen F6. Okay, so knight D4, Queen B6. No particular other moves to consider, right? C5 maybe?
C5 takes.
Yeah, I was thinking instead of Queen B6.
For black.
Yeah.
But takes and
Takes.
Bishop
Yeah,
D3, no?
takes. Takes and Bishop D3. True. So Queen B6.
What should white play?
Yeah, he has to take an E7. Takes.
But now bishop e3 first. What do you think?
Could be very strong.
Queen b2.
I guess he has to play this.
I tried.
Oh, the rook is trapped. Ooh.
So
But
yeah, okay. I didn't see this going b2. That's nice. Always very tricky. Bishop f4. This looks correct. Bishop f4. Bishop a3. And now maybe just centralize your pieces and win. Queen e5. Queen e5 threatening d6 e5.
this looks bad.
Yeah, this is just for science. Oh, where's yeah?
Maybe here queen b1.
Yeah, maybe here queen b1.
Somehow trying to survive.
Garo's reaching for the knight.
It's interesting what Fabi has in mind there, because I'm not sure Black has problems anymore. I mean, the white king is what? He's going to go king f2, king g1, or what?
And if Black doesn't have problems, maybe White has problems, no?
No. There is still the option of queen d4 here, but maybe just queen a5 and then.
Queen g7, oh, then a3.
It's not clear at all.
Long castle.
Yeah, maybe this is the way to go. Let's say a3, bishop d4, takes
After
b2.
bishop d4, we have a draw already with bishop f8, bishop e1.
Ah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, this. Yeah, I don't think you can play like this as white.
Actually, it's a tricky idea for Black once to play a3 in these circumstances. Knight d.
Sorry, I did. By the way, I cheated and I checked. So, instead of knight d2, knight d4, queen b6, rook e7, queen d4, rook c7, rook b8 is fine for Black.
Fine as in +1 or as in, I can check myself, as in zeros?
As in zeros.
Whoa.
No.
Not after bishop e3, but after without bishop e3.
Here.
Yeah.
Threatening bishop d6, picking up the rook.
Yeah, you can't do anything about that threat.
Hikaru's played knight d2 in the meantime. Could still be a sneaky way to repeat moves or to gain some time on the clock if he wants this. Knight b3 and then knight d4. Maybe he has some other idea.
Yeah. So the question is whether to go to c2 because he also gave him the escape square on a1.
A1 f6, yeah. So how does this go? Queen a1, knight b3, queen f6, and nothing direct happens.
Well, after knight b3, also queen b1 is possible.
Sure.
Yeah.
And queen f6.
This just looks worse for black, which is already quite an achievement for him.
Feels like there's nothing easy for white anymore, no? Like, not
No.
that knight h4 was easy, but even, yeah.
No, but I think
Not
once you
terrible.
see knight h4, it's really easy.
Yeah. Still.
Queen a1.
And
Very well
the
played.
idea behind rook knight h4, I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense just to attack a loose piece.
No, and basically knight h4 is a very normal, regular move in this system.
Yeah.
Not exactly here, but generally knight h4 to attack the f5. It's not like what you said in Fabi's game that king d1 and stuff. Actually, we have some moves, the ones we were talking about. Queen d4.
Yeah, queen d4, queen f5.
Let's go. What are current predictions for how the games end?
I would guess Alideza against Duda is going to be a draw.
Wow, hot take.
Uh, I think Report is going to win. The rest are going to be drawn.
What do you think about Rapport's play? That he's in the top 10 practically for quite some time.
It's very hard for me to judge because he plays very well against everybody and then he plays really poorly against me. So that makes it hard for me to be completely unbiased. But I think when he's on form, he deserves to be a top 10 player, and certainly there's room for him to improve it even further. And I think his understanding of the game is just superb. Really.
Does he only have the image that he goes to very strange decisions and creative ideas? Is it already the image only, or you still see him doing?
He does it, but a little bit less than he used to. But he's clearly better prepared than he used to be. He has all of these strange lines that he plays. He's studied them. He's even going for some main lines. And I've always said in his career that he's always been very good positionally. He's been good at end games and all of this, and playing all these weird lines was, I think, partly just a matter of taste, and also because he it probably didn't work hard enough to play the main lines. But yeah, in terms of his understanding and his talent, there are very few players who are superior.
Do you think he doesn't like to play chess, or the stress of it, or is it also an image thing that people have been pushing, me included?
I'm not so sure. I think he likes playing chess. I'm not sure he likes everything around it, but then again, who does?
Love it.
So Queen a5.
Yeah.
What is that? It's gonna take.
F5 can be met by E5.
Oh yeah.
And that should be just awful for white.
But somehow things are turning around here for.
I'm not sure they're turning around. I'm not sure they were ever that difficult for Richard. Like, we just had a complicated position that he seems
Yeah,
to
but
have
why
handled
do you
better.
need your rook on d1? What was the point to put rook on d1?
Well, he was anticipating a4, and he just wanted the rook out of the way before that happened. But yeah, I agree. And the fact that black can castle queenside here in many lines is very useful. So I would
By the way,
assume he has to
I
take
have-
on G.
No, sorry, I want to go king f2. I mean, I don't know if I want.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to, but yeah.
Yes,
probably
this is
have
what I
to.
would say. I'm not sure I want to, but I do play king f2.
I would say just castles.
Castles. Yeah.
King side, that is.
Sorry that I didn't ask you, and I made my choice. What about knight e2, knight g3? So I have my things.
Okay, I think it's some yes, AB it's then maybe rook a1 is a problem. So not sure we can do that. E5 is an option for black as well.
E5.
Yeah. Take rook e8. May not be impressive. King g1 and then knight g3 comes. I don't know. Or knight f4 maybe. It's very hard to evaluate.
He went queen g7.
Here
So
we
think-
I
go.
don't know.
Okay, a3.
Do you play a3? Yeah, a3.
On the board.
Wow. I mean, it's amazing what games we're getting in this tournament.
Yeah, we are so spoiled. It's just
Every day.
I
so
was gonna suggest bishop c1 here, but then a2 is somewhat unpleasant.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. The thing is though, like Fabi's attack, it's gonna net him a knight at the most, I feel. So it's a real question whether, let's say white goes f5.
no, I go king f2. And I go knight e2.
Ah, you go knight e2.
Mm.
I go
So
chicken.
sensible, so sensible. Maybe black has to chicken out as well, play like e5.
Oh, as you draw, f5, bishop f8. Bam.
Yeah, exactly.
But after e5, I take.
You're not
Yeah,
giving us the draw,
Castles, maybe. I don't know.
but
You are enjoying this with black, that short castle, long castle, alternating. You have your very natural opponent.
Yeah, I know.
too. I mean, what kind of pawn structure we have here? I've never seen something like that.
This would be a nice exercise. Like try to guess the 20 moves preceding this.
I mean, we have such a pawn structures in different days that it's just like somebody who doesn't play chess would just randomly put up the pieces.
Yeah.
Long castle.
Now this is the kind of position, if you look at it for 5 seconds, you probably wouldn't be able to reconstruct. Well, 5 seconds maybe, but let's say 1 or 2 seconds. I don't think you would.
You wouldn't be able to say what opening was it? You would.
No, I wouldn't. But I wouldn't be able to reconstruct the position because the position is so irrational.
you do that once where they give you like normal chess positions and then the pieces on random squares.
No, I haven't tried it, but I've seen the experiment.
But
Yeah,
we don't
no.
have to. We don't have to do that. We just have to follow the candidate.
Yeah, that's true.
I did it. There was some study like how much better you do with normal positions, and it's really night and day because
Yeah, really.
possible to even remember 3 pawns if they're on random squares, while if they're on h7, g7, f7, it's not so tough. So no, it was really tough to remember like 16 pieces on random squares.
And now Jan has kind of consolidated.
He went
Like,
knight
this is-
g6.
This position is a dream compared to what he had. And he does have half an hour more. Actually, even more than that. And I would not bet on him losing this game. Clearly white is better.
Well, he escaped
Still.
for the moment. That's
But
clear.
he kind of escaped.
And
Like
Naka
this
short
is
on
a very nice position to get from the opening as white, but not doesn't look as nice if you can't forget about the past.
Well, yeah, that's the problem for Nakamura, that he had the past in this game to cry after, right? Because there is a significant improvement in Jan's game.
By the way, I also checked briefly the engine and Fabiano against Rapport. King f2 followed by knight e2 looks to be correct. And then f5, e5, white should probably go f5. Because black seems to be doing well after fe5.
So it can be a draw.
Yeah. Probably would
You
be
see,
the
we
correct
always
course.
say that the players always find the draw if they want to
Yeah,
make.
they really do.
What a repetition of moves.
But here we can't blame them for not trying. No, it's more like
No, but
the draw for
imagine
them.
if
Yeah.
imagine if this game was played between Mamedyarov and Karyakin. That would have been so much fun. And he has played King f2.
King f2 is on the
King
board.
f2 and
Maybe
maybe knight e2. I assume e5 is going to come pretty quickly. I don't see what other moves would even make sense. Yeah, looks like other moves just lose.
So it's you think it's gonna be a draw this way?
Yeah. By the way, the engine wanted bishop c3, which actually makes a whole lot of sense instead of queen a5.
Bishop c3 and castle.
Yeah, bishop c3 and castles, and then f5, and black is just better.
Better.
Yeah. Which makes a whole lot of sense. Like the black position is completely harmonic.
E5 on the board. Looks like this is over soon.
No, let's see. But it would
Fabi
be
wants to play.
would be kind of insane to go fe.
Also fe, then that will also mean after bishop f8, queen f6, bishop e7, he has to go queen f5 or somewhere here, which is...
Yeah, that seems to be the best line. And then some queen b4. Followed by long castling, obviously.
But why is it good to play bishop f8, bishop e7? Why not?
No, I was just trying to force a draw.
Because
better,
you're trying to go
looking
queen
for
b4,
advantage.
I think.
Queen b4.
Yeah.
This move.
Yeah. Rook d4, there's queen c5, I think.
I kind of don't understand anything of this game, which
But,
is still chess, yes?
Yeah. No, but the pawn on b2 is very strong. You're just...
And it's a very natural location for the pawn.
No, but I would say like the bishop on b4 and queen on a5 are extremely stupid. So as long as it doesn't lose material, bring the queen around makes a lot of sense. Also, queen b4 was preparing bishop c5.
Mm.
My money is on e5, f5.
And remember that you're still flexible as black. You can castle to either side.
Yes. I keep that in mind, that I didn't make a move. How irritating it would be if the king would have moved already.
I know. No, that's what I was saying, that if we played no casting chess, then Fabia would have played a brilliant game.
Yeah.
I'll think about it for a bit. How's Ding doing? Is he making progress?
I'm not sure.
Went b5, a6.
I mean, white can protect his weaknesses, so it's not, you're not ever going to win this game quickly as black.
Ready?
The
Okay.
second part of your sentence, that quickly.
No, but so white is protecting, but also I don't think white's problems are ever gonna go away. This is the main
but-
problem by in such a position, that your king is always going to be weak. I don't think there's anything you can do about it. There's nothing positive you can do in the center. Once you start opening up, it's very favorable for the player who has the better king. So white cannot do much. The
So
question is if you can do. I think what white should do is just wait.
So my question is, if you play with black and you don't win this game with black, would you be irritated?
It depends on the further cause. If you try a little bit here and there and white just defends well, then I would be fine with that. But I would expect to win this at least a fair amount of the time. Exactly how often, I don't know, but I would be let's say I would be disappointed if I didn't manage to put any pressure at all. That would be.
And he's played h3, moving more pawns. Isn't that a bit weakening as well? Like g3, f4?
Yeah, I kind of agree. Also, queen king h3 is a very useful square.
Yeah.
Mm.
Rook d8 played by Ding.
Well, the question is also that what was the purpose of h3? Is he seeing
No,
ghosts?
I think he was just waiting.
Yeah, but the pawn move is not waiting, really, is it? Or he just had a problem to wait.
Yeah, it doesn't have a whole lot of useful moves.
Okay, so he'll go somewhere, queen c2.
Yeah, I'm just expecting queen c2 to happen pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Don't know if Ding is just repeating once, and then we'll see. But yeah, as you said, knight g6, h4, h5, h4 becomes the plan now.
Yeah.
I like knight g6, also sometimes knight h5.
Oh yeah.
And f5 here, that's
Maybe in this exact situation, it's good. And Ikara has put the knights on c6.
what did I get there? A
Which-
knight f5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instinctively, I don't love it.
But now black is having all kind of counter chances with bishop c5. Black can even go bishop d7 sometimes.
Yeah, bishop d7, but then play becomes concrete. Either rook f3 or bishop c3. So it's clearly, okay, maybe rook f3, there's rook e8? Question mark?
Bishop d7 is on the board.
Yeah.
When will you guys switch over to Nepomniachtchi is now a favorite to win the game?
I would need to see a little bit more evidence.
Fair.
But yeah, I don't.
Bishop c3 has been played.
Yeah. I need some hard evidence on
Is white
on
better?
why this is good for white, because I'm not sold.
It's no big deal anymore, no?
Yeah, let's say queen g5 maybe. Looks like a decent square.
It was misplayed by Nakamura.
No, this is unquestionable.
But not, I mean, before when he misplayed his greatest opportunity, he was just went into a little better position, right? But now I think he's going to completely.
Do you remember the game Kamsky-Karpov from their World Championship match where the Karpov went with his king to d8 in the Petrov, and then he
Yes.
just walked it back to f8, and they put his bishops on d6, D7, rook on
Yes.
E8, E7, and he just crushed
Yes.
Kamsky very quickly. Like I could see some sort of the same setup happening here for Jan eventually.
He must also be so happy. We saw him earlier shaking his head, and now he has a whatever equal position with much more time. He'll be feeling
Yeah,
good.
don't forget that 12 minutes for Nakamura for 10 moves. It's not going to be easy and ruining his position, and he knows it.
I went queen to D6.
Yeah, I checked, by the way, queen at G5 was by far the best move, apparently.
Is queen D6 a draw for? Should be
And
4.
queen G5 was completely fine.
Maybe it's coming next. Bishop B4, queen F6, bishop C3.
And rook D8, queen C2, knight G6 is obviously nonsense because you're allowing F5. You just go H5 immediately.
Ah, and the ding it.
Yeah.
In game.
Uh-huh.
We are
G8
heading
on the board.
to a draw between Fabiano Rapport finished as a draw.
Yeah, okay, finished in the draw. No, queen C2, H5. That's just horrible for white, actually. How do you even stop H4?
C2 plate.
You
Not
can't
saying.
Okay, now if he goes H5, I would consider him the favorite to win the game.
H4 is just completely overloading all the white construction.
Yeah. Actually, the more I look at it, this is just perfect harmony for black.
Will he do it?
Come
He's
on.
missed some chances so far in this tournament.
Yeah.
But here is another one.
Well, I guess Nakamura will make a repetition of moves, don't you think so?
Feels like it will.
Depends on whether he finds a risk-free way to play. How many moves are there now?
Move
It's
31. He's shaking his head. He looks very disappointed.
I think he's risking a lot if he's not going for it.
I would say though, if I was playing black,
You would go Queen G5.
I would go Queen G5.
Of course
yes.
you would do Queen G5. Nobody thinks that
I
you
would-
wouldn't.
Even if I actually maybe he's playing it really nicely, going Queen D6 once, making him sit there and shake his head for 5 minutes, and then okay, he actually went.
Nah, he plays Queen D6. Yeah.
How do you play
That's
Queen
fine.
D6 in 1 second? That's so undisciplined.
Didn't even think about it. No, he can't sidestep
Smell
it
the
more.
blood in the water, dude. Be a fucking shark.
Yeah, Hikaru's.
Yeah,
You can
maybe
see he's
this
gonna repeat. Yeah.
This is the reason why you were the world champion for quite some years and not
No, I don't know.
one small detail. You are the shark. No matter how much you eat up other people, you still want to eat one more.
Yeah, but it's
But
in
when you
this
get your
position, let's say
chances-
Queen G5. I mean, objectively, you're equal or slightly worse. Like, how much are you really risking, practically speaking? I wouldn't say too much.
Yeah, but I think he struggled so much. I mean, he had this. I mean, he knew. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he would see knight h4 during the game. But one thing is for sure, he felt that it's very much on the edge of losing the game.
No, this is true. Now, Queen G5.
And he has
Queen,
plus
I
two.
think Queen G5 is clearly the EV play at this point. I mean, not even a question.
But that's a world championship decision when you're +2 in the candidates to play Queen G5 after having this kind of game.
I mean, you're +2 after 4 games. You shouldn't. Yeah, I understand. It's not easy to sit there and. But as I said, okay, those are going to be my last words. Be a shark. I have to go.
Thank you so much for joining.
H5 is
Thank you.
played.
H5
Yeah.
played
And why does he play H5?
because he's a shark.
Because he's a shark.